We got wings.
Okay, that's why those wings were so good. That's why it's on my face. Because I went to town on those wings. Like,
so happy.
licking all my fingers town, okay?
And if you're not a man who is holding other men accountable, you can't consider yourself a good man. A lot of people think that I am mean to men. Enough people think that to where it irks the literal fuck out of me. And the truth is, I hold men to the exact same standard that I hold myself. And because they are used to a society in which they have very low expectations, I'm mean. Because let's be so fucking for real. My expectation of men is that before they start dating, they live alone. Not with their mothers, not with their family members, not with their homeboys. They live alone and they learn how to cook, clean after themselves, and be a general adult figure without the enabling or help of a woman. That to me is bare fucking minimum. I've been living by myself since I was 19 years old, 20 years old, with no roommates. One. Secondly, that you don't give with transactional energy. That's fucking easy. Don't pay for dinner expecting that a woman has to fuck you now. Don't kill women because you had a bad day or because you have trauma from fucking 30 years ago. Don't project onto women because you have trauma from fucking 30 years ago. So many men talk about their trauma from their fucking kindergarten girlfriend and utilize that experience as an excuse to treat women how they do. And if I have to explain to you how men treat women, then you're on the wrong fucking video. Get the fuck out. Remove thyself, because I don't got time today. That's the other thing. Men think that we have an obligation to teach them. The good guys, we have to teach them. I just dated somebody who really felt like he was a good guy. He was different. I'm not like the other guys. Yet, he had extreme control issues and jealousy issues, extreme insecurity, a really difficult time sitting by himself without the enabling of a woman figure, his sister, me, his mother, whomsoever. Corny, weird, grown to be acting like that. They use therapy for validation. They use therapy to get the language, but not to do the internal work. Gross. Get the fuck from me. And to get some pussy. At the end of it all, they are performing to get some pussy, bruh. Like, they are performing to get some pussy. Fuck out of here. They don't deserve pussy. They legit don't deserve it. There is such an uprising of this red pill alpha male bullshit. It is becoming even more unsafe for women. And back to the trauma thing. These men are talking about some baby ass trauma. Oh, my mommy didn't fulfill my needs when I was 4. Oh, my girlfriend in high school cheated on me. Women have been being sexually abused from childhood into early adulthood, maybe even in their middle adulthood. They've been cheated on. They've got intense mommy and daddy issues, and yet we go to therapy. We sit with ourselves. We do the work to not project and to understand how to set boundaries and to not perpetuate a toxic cycle. Why can't they do the same? They have all of the resources in this society to do better than we are doing. and they can't even make more money. They can't even protect us. They can't even not sexually assault us. They can't even stand to not kill us. It's becoming more and more unsafe in this society for women to exist. And the only person that I really see talking about this on the internet is the Slumflower, bitch, I love you. I love you from over here. I'm going to be copy pasting some of her videos into here. I really want y'all to follow her if you are aligning with what I'm saying and you're looking to learn how to set boundaries with men and to be more strict about what people can get out of you, especially men.
Why rejecting men matters to me heavily is because not enough people are doing it and men are too confident. They don't deserve easy access to women. Given that they've made it hard for women to exist in the same planet as them, I don't think it should be easy for men to access the thing that they love the most, which is our pussies. I find it bizarre that women are fighting tooth and nail to give men more access to women. Very weird. That's not feminism, that's stupidity. There's a difference. And I think that a lot of women, their empathy is what's getting them in danger. You're scared to reject men because you're empathetic about their discomfort, but men are not empathetic about making you uncomfortable by stalking you, by catcalling you, by looking at your tits while talking to you, by making sexual jokes, knowing that the power dynamic between you and him means that you can't really advocate for yourself in the way you deserve to, especially if this is a workplace situation. Men don't feel uncomfortable about making women uncomfortable. So why do women feel uncomfortable about making men feel uncomfortable?
This is someone you need to follow because she puts it into words so eloquently. Mine is all over the place because it's the first time I'm trying to talk about it on camera. I'd be spitting bars in person, but let's also talk about misogyny as the inability to sit with emotions. Men who are the most abusive to women are usually men who are not processing their feelings. And I think the reason that women trigger them so much and the reason that they go and kill women or abuse women is because we reflect back to them the emotional processing that they are not doing. So they project their anger and grief onto us. And because we reflect back to them the emotional intelligence that they don't have, they are super triggered and they get violent. Emotionally, financially, physically, sexually violent. It's crazy. And I put that together because I was talking about some family members where I saw men in my family become very angry towards their wives, and their wives were either silenced or shunned for processing the emotions for them because they couldn't do it themselves, getting cheated on for being the quiet wife that they wanted them to be. And it's just trifling, to be honest. I am not going to ever be a quiet, oppressed woman, ever. I am not mean to men. I just reject them when they don't come with the requirements that I have, the standards that I have, which are the exact same standards that I hold myself to. Other than living alone, I pay my own bills. Unfortunately. I don't even think I should have to. Look at me. The fuck? I work and created a feminine, soft lifestyle for myself at the same time while I'm taking care of myself. I make my alone time so easy and so fun for me that a man, a person, a partner, a potential partner would have to make my life better somehow, some way easier to get me. It doesn't make any sense that you would come up over here, have me paying my bills, and being soft at the same time, holding myself to a very high moral and integral standard, being a solid leader for you to make my life more stressful. Why would I deal with you? While also having the risk of dying, getting sick. What is it, 300 times more likely that a man will leave a woman in sickness than a woman leaving her man in sickness? These are scientific facts, y'all. I don't have to make this up. I don't have to be mean. I'm just realistic. I don't got fucking time. I say stay strapped, and as these men try to assault us or be violent towards us, what we should do is take care of business, and the ones who make it out alive are the good men, because then there won't be that problem of not all men are bad. Not the ones that are here. Our political system is scary. It's scary. We're losing our rights. We're losing our autonomy even more, which is fucking crazy. And men are being enabled further to behave in dangerous ways. Diddy not having repercussions for his behavior towards Cassie because they didn't let evidence into court is not surprising, but extremely disappointing. And the response from the internet of being victim shamed and blamed, it shows even deeper that women are not safe. We're not safe. These men are not a safe space. They think they run shit. The only way that they will ever figure out that they don't run shit is if we withhold pussy. And if we're like, listen, you didn't come over here with the requirements, you don't feel like a safe space to me, and then clown them for all the shit they didn't do. If you did give it up to them, clown them. Hold them accountable. You couldn't get it up, pussy. You couldn't please me, pussy. You didn't pay for my shit, pussy. You're not a real man, pussy. Clown them. Somebody has to shame them. If it's not us, who? Since sure as fuck not Donald Trump. It's sure as fuck not these rappers. It's sure as fuck not society. Women have the power to hold men accountable. Good men, if you're here, you have the power to hold men accountable. And if you're not a man who is holding other men accountable, you can't consider yourself a good man, because you're not actually building a safer space for women. You're just not actively abusing women. That doesn't mean shit to me. You have to actively be correcting the negative, toxic, abusive, narcissistic behaviors that your friends are embodying for me to give you a job well done. And that is bare minimum. Women do hold their friends accountable. I hold my friends accountable. Again, I can't even speak to all women, because a lot of women are, and I don't blame them, dealing with and working through internalized misogyny because of the society that we live in, and unlearning, conditioning, and also their fight, freeze, fawn, flight responses to keep themselves, that they've learned and adapted to have to keep themselves safe from dangerous men. All men. So yeah, no, I'm not mean to men. I call them up. Come over here with the requirements. You can respect me, or you can get the fuck away from me, and I'm gonna be fucking loud about it if you are disrespectful to me. Or my homegirls. Or if you disappoint me. I'm going to hold a man accountable, just like I hold women accountable, just like I hold myself accountable. The only difference is I like being held accountable. I like learning how to love people and create a safer space for people. I don't have to defend myself when people are saying, hey, it hurt my feelings when you did this thing. I'm like, oh, word? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings when I did that thing, because I didn't mean to. Anyone who defends himself when you're like, hey, it hurt my feelings when you did this thing, they're probably an emotional abuser, by the way. Because if you really don't intend to hurt somebody's feelings, you're not going to be defensive when they tell you that you hurt their feelings. And that doesn't pertain to someone with control issues and is asking you to change parts of yourself that are actually healthy. That doesn't count. You being hurt because I held a boundary with you or didn't allow you to change who I organically am as a human being does not count as me hurting your feelings. It's more so like if I hurt a person's feelings saying a joke, if I make a comment that hurts them, if I something, I don't know, it doesn't happen very often. If I disappeared on somebody who was my friend and I hurt them because they felt not like they couldn't reach me and they felt abandoned by me, I would be like, oh my God, I'm sorry, that wasn't my intention. Men don't do that. They have a really hard time with accountability and they cannot sit with shame and guilt. And women have had to sit in that shit for lifetimes, generations, societies, since the patriarchy took over. So am I mean to men by the standards of our current government system? Probably. Do I give a single fuck? No. Why? Because men come to me with fucking respect and they act right. They act on their P's and Q's because they know that my rejection is gonna feel terrible. And when they don't act on their P's and Q's, they get my terrible, very truthful, very evolved rejection, and I pull the motherfucking swords out because they deserve it. Just like I would do with women. I do read women to filth sometimes if they have wronged me, and I still give them empathy and tell them where I think it's coming from, because a lot of the time it is internalized misogyny. So enjoy the Slumflower clips I include, because she is so eloquently communicating exactly what I'm trying to say in probably better terms. It's the first time I'm trying to talk about this on camera. Forgive me for the all over the placeness of it. This is Mercury retrograde. Not everything is going to come out perfectly, but I'm still getting this video out. Bye. I love you. Be harder on people. Start forcing them to raise to the fucking occasion, which is you. Hold your boundaries. Guilt-free. Period. Love you. Bye.
Because it could be argued, which is true, that men are having a difficult time mentally. There's this whole conversation about the male loneliness epidemic, which I find quite interesting and almost hilarious, because like,
Really?
oh yeah, of course you're going to be lonely. You've killed all the women. Like, what do you mean? Why are you complaining that you're lonely?
How we feel about men. So as like a general, we got wings.
Okay, that's why those wings were so good. That's why it's on my face. Because I went to town on those wings. Like,
so happy.
licking all my fingers town, okay? I digress. Okay, go ahead. Take it away.
Our general conversation is going to be like what we feel about men. So I'm going to let you go off that. Any tangent you so choose.
Okay. I love men. I love an evolved man, a healed man, a man who's actively participating in dismantling the patriarchy. If not, they can get the fuck away. And that an evolved man is such a rare find. You don't come across them too often, but at least in my experience, the ones that I have come across often were like artists. They were already they were spiritual in a way. They're tapped into who they are actually at their core, not just who they've been socialized to be. Mm-hmm. They go against social norms. Those men, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Very hard to find, but I have faith that at least in the future, more and more men will be like that.
Do you think that when men are more so like artists, they've made choices to develop their feminine energy?
Yeah, absolutely. I think men are socialized to be very, because, okay, I think it's important to also define what masculine is and like what feminine is. Don't ask me because I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
at least what we know today as masculinity is the toxic form. It's the dominating, overpowering over the feminine, and the suppression and the repression of the feminine. So you see that in how I see that in for example, Christian nationalism, where men feel like they're the heads of their families and they are the only ones who get to make decisions and choices for their families, but they're ignoring a very crucial part of existence. They wouldn't be here without a woman. Everyone on this planet
Came through a woman.
That should tell you something. Maybe, just a thought. Maybe they are actually the leaders that you're looking for. And I came across this video on Instagram where these very famous innovators, people who invented things, turns out that they stole their women's
Ideas.
Motherfuckers. It was the women behind every successful, brilliant, educated,
Man.
Nobel Prize winning man is a woman.
On that topic, Jay-Z would not be Jay-Z as he is now without Beyonce.
Absolutely not.
Beyonce was groomed by him from a very young age, and he used his authority and his power to control her and her artistry, and then still cheated on her after she followed his every rule. And he groomed her so well that she internalized and then projected that trauma onto other young women. I think, and I have a theory, and I'm going off on a side mission here, but I think that she groomed Haley and Chloe, or whatever their names are.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
The twin girls that she signed.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely groomed the fuck out of them to do whatever he wanted them to do.
She's doing his bidding.
Exactly, and that's the same thing with Ghislaine Maxwell. The Epstein situation. He groomed her, she groomed the girls. Because we internalized it. No woman naturally has the drive to do that. No woman naturally...
Not unless they've been exposed.
Unless they've been groomed, exposed, manipulated to such an intense degree that they are now fulfilling the man's toxic legacy, abusive legacy for them. So, like, choosing a male partner is actually detrimental to not just you, but also to society. So if we choose a male counterpart who has not developed himself, literally, they have to actively go against everything they're taught in order to serve. So if they're not actively going against everything, then they're perpetuating trauma, period.
And that's why it's so rare to find men like that. Not only men who are aware of what you just said, but like also using their voices and doing something about it. Like, there are men who are aware of it, they see it, but they're not doing anything. Nothing. They're just sitting by watching women be taken advantage of.
And the men who defend that behavior are also just doing it and getting away with it. They want Diddy to get away with it because they want to get away with it, ultimately. They want Jay-Z to get away with it because that's what they're doing to their wife or their girlfriends or to young women in their life. What are some of the standards that you now implement in deflecting the men you don't want and attracting the men you do want?
I have a series of questions that I plan to navigate throughout the first conversation. It's like my non-negotiables. First question I'm going to ask is, who did you vote for? I'd rather hear I didn't vote for anybody because they're both Trump. I'd rather hear that than I voted for Trump. So that's like a non-negotiable for me, because if you voted for Trump, then you don't really see the value in me, not only as a black woman, but as a person. You just don't see me as a person deserving of rights. So that's number one. Then the next question is, what are your thoughts about therapy? Have you gone to therapy? Are you actively, is this something that's important to you? Because my role is not to play your therapist. And men will use women for that. They will use women as their therapists. Basically deplete them of their energy and not pour anything back into them. So, therapy. If they're not in therapy, have they gone to therapy before and they reached, they grew and then they realized, okay, they're doing okay, and then they stopped? Like, what's the story about therapy? I want a man who cares enough about his emotional well-being and is willing to take care of it and not push that on somebody else. Make that someone else's responsibility. Third question is, because for me, I'm a mom and my daughter is everything to me. I personally will not be okay with a man getting to know my daughter for like the first 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't want this man near. I don't want them. Nope. I have, when I say I have to vet this man through and through, I will not be another stereotypical black mom who got another partner, and this partner ends up abusing their child, and they end up sticking up for this man, this no good man. I've heard this story. I've heard this story echoed so many times, especially in my community, where these women, because of internalized misogyny, they stick up for these predators over their own kids.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell that I would do that. So the person who enters my life, or the person I'm hoping to attract, has to be someone who is okay with not even saying hello to my daughter for like the first 10 years. So just with those three, I guess 3 demands, that like kicks out a lot of people, and not a lot of people would stay for those 3, which makes it easier for me, because I'm just like, okay, at least by the time, if I do meet someone who meets that criteria, I won't have to like second guess it too much, because babies aren't often a deal breaker. Therapy is also a deal breaker,
Which is crazy. Like, why don't y'all naturally have the desire to go fix your shit if you're so fragile that the trauma you blame everything on is from 30 fucking years ago because in kindergarten your girlfriend broke up with you, aka my last, trying to me about, and this is a man that was in therapy, is in therapy for years, and that's why I just don't really know about the honesty that comes of a first couple of months relationship. I think that men have about a 3-month cap, honestly, in my life, because they perform. They have observed me to know what they have to pretend to come with, and then they don't come with it after month 3. And I observe that also in dating both men and women, that the first argument ends up repeating itself. They are going to show you who they are early. Our first argument was about a shirt I was wearing that was like white and I didn't have a bra on. And he had a huge issue with that, even though I've worn that shirt 50 fucking times to work, to friend outings. I even wore it on our first date. which wasn't a date. We were picking up my fucking cat, but and I paid for it. So, gag, why the fuck did you take me here if I'm gonna pay for everything? But anyway, I digress. Not something I will be dealing with ever again. I think that they show you what they think that you want to see, and then the mask comes off eventually. So he didn't like the shirt situation, and I was like, well, if that's a deal breaker for you, we should probably just be friends, because I've worn this shirt 50 fucking times, and I'm not gonna start wearing bras because you don't like it now that we've been intimate. Like, I have been who I am. I haven't worn a bra since I was like 15, thinking it was cool to wear a bra because I never did it before. Like, I have never been a bra wearer. I'm not changing for you. This is a part of my healthy expression. And the only way that this would be a reasonable conversation is if you were worried for my safety. And even so, the way in which it was brought up was unreasonable, because the only way that protection looks to me is I'm wearing this shirt, someone sexually assaults me or tries to grab me, and you jump in then. Not telling me you need to be more modest because that's my body, which is the gist of that conversation in every argument moving forward. He said, okay, I understand that this is a non-negotiable for you. I think it's a non-negotiable for me. And I was like, okay, go think about it. He called one of our female friends, mutual friend, and he called me back being like, oh, can you just help me talk through this? Now, that's not my fucking responsibility. That's not my responsibility. I am emotionally generous, so I did it. But I can't either. And then by the end of the relationship, I started being like, no, this is your feelings. They are not healthy and they're not mine to carry. So you need to sit with your discomfort and figure it out and talk to your therapist about it, because this is not my job. I'm just being who I naturally, innocently am. The relationship, as you know, ended because a gay friend of mine, a gay man, sent me a Bad Girls Club quote. Natalie Nunn. Ass fat, slim thick, no tummy, dead ass. That's how the relationship ended, because he could not manage his feelings of control and jealousy. The same thing as the shirt. I've had this gay friend in my life for longer than you've known me, motherfucker. I'm not gonna stop being friends with someone who likes dick more than I do, for real. For you. Be for real.
Yeah.
Be so for real.
Because be gay down low.
Okay, like, and he's one of them, and I don't give a fuck.
This is a popular opinion, and I think every woman agrees with it. At least every conscious woman agrees with this. Men like other men. They don't really like women.
Right. They like our holes.
Yeah, they just want to impress. They want the baddest chick in the room to impress the other men in the room.
Correct.
Not just to have her. They just want to show her off. Like a car.
Yeah.
Essentially. And until we can get to a point in society where love and possession are not synonymous, like at least in the men's head.
Sphere, like, yeah. Manosphere.
Love is not possession. Love is freedom.
Yes.
A woman should be able to exist exactly how she is without being overly sexualized.
Correct.
Like, it's okay to be sexually attracted to women, but in her essence, you just see her as someone like
a potential fuck toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will never grow as a society. Like, there will still be problems or I should say, things will just start falling apart at the seams, as it has been for the past
12 at least years.
And it will continue to go that way until men realize that the real power lies in empowering their women, not controlling them, not possessing them. They will never self-actualize. They won't. They can't until they recognize that.
Okay, but they're not gonna recognize that until women stop enabling them. We have to get comfortable with rejecting them, because they are so comfortable behaving that way after performing as if they would not be that way with you, and that they fell in love with you for the way you were. We have to reject that which is not healthy in men without feeling guilty. They don't feel guilty.
No, they don't.
They're like, oh, I don't like white girls. Oh, I don't like black girls. Oh, I don't like your hair. Oh, I don't like your eyes. Or I don't like this. I don't like your body. You're too thick. You're too skinny. I don't know. Y'all are so fucking comfortable being choosy. And now
if
you're
a
crying.
If a woman is choosy, it's a problem.
It's a problem. And now they're like talking about this male loneliness epidemic like we give a fuck. First of all, you killed us. Second of all, you raped us. Thirdly, you don't protect us. Fourth, you try to possess us. 5, you only use us as an object to sexualize. Like, now we have AI fuck dolls. Why don't you just go get one?
They're getting way too comfortable, way too entitled, and way too free in believing that we need them. And that largely boils down to us making men feel like we can't do without them. The reason why I say that we need to reject men more is because it creates a precedent where men know that if they don't come with the requirements that are expected of them as a collective, they should not expect to get laid.
It's the desires that these men have where they're not willing to question, why is this actually good? Is this actually good for me? Is this actually good for the collective?
No, they don't care.
They need to start caring. And it's like you said, they won't start caring until women take their power back. That's why this whole 4B movement, the 4B movement that happened in Korea, is now, it's starting here.
Yeah.
Or I should say it's gaining momentum here.
It is.
Because women are just like, they're fed up blind. And they're tired of the lives that have been perpetrated by their mothers and the mothers' mothers. And these women who are absolutely miserable and unhappy and they have nothing to show for this toxic love that they suffered for. Nothing to show for it.
And they're depressed. Actually, I believe there's a rise in suicide of middle-aged women, which is devastating because those were the women that were evolving into our wise women. It, like, if we go back to village times, we look to them for wisdom and guidance, and we can't do that right now. 1, because of their choices, and 2, because they are dying. They're not happy, and they're depressed, and they're getting on meds, or they're killing themselves. And that's if they've made it. They're being killed for starting to have boundaries with their husbands that, you know, married the quiet, oppressed woman that they groomed. Even my grandmother had that experience, honestly, and I mean, she's still mourning the death of my grandfather, but, like, I don't think that she knows that part of that grief is the fact that she was never able to be her own person her entire life until she was, like, 80 or 81.
Life gone.
Yeah. And from the time she was 17, she was married to my grandfather. And, yeah, that's really sad. And I told my brother, one of the reasons I think misogyny is so violent from men is because we reflect back to them the capability, the capacity to process our emotions. And they don't have that, and it triggers them, and it makes them irate.
Yet we're the emotional ones.
Yeah. But no, you're the emotional ones.
It's funny how I grew up saying that. I grew up believing, I grew up believing a lot of things, but that's besides the point. I grew up believing that women were the more emotional creatures and that they really couldn't govern themselves. But history has proven time and time again, the real crash outs are the men. They're the ones starting wars because their egos got hurt.
Yeah.
They will start wars and have innocent men die over their ego because they're not in the front lines.
No.
They're sending other men. So
these men are pedophiles, and we have a sex
predators.
offender. Yeah. We have a sex offender and a predator as a president. Who has no governmental background at all.
Yeah.
He's a business person, not even a fucking good one, arguably, and had a lot of ties to a lot of fucked up people. Diddy, Epstein, we've all seen pictures. Like, be so fucking for real.
That's why he's trying to keep that whole thing under wraps. His name is on it.
Exactly.
His name is on it, and it's not just that. A couple years ago, it was brought to the public's attention that he raped a 12-year-old girl.
Right. It was.
Had her strapped to the bed. Like, that was public knowledge.
Yeah, and we still voted him in. And when I say we, I mean America, not us individually, because obviously we didn't.
It makes me wonder, though, did we really vote them in? Because...
Right. This is rigged as fuck.
Yeah.
I don't think that we live in an actual voting scenario.
No, and this is why I can empathize with people who say, I'm just not going to participate either way, because imagine most of America did vote for
Kamala Harris.
Imagine they did, but the election was rigged. That just proves a point.
The fact that he, when he wasn't voted in, was so adamant about saying, it was rigged, it was rigged, it was rigged. You might just be telling on yourself right now. And then hiring.
He always tells on himself, though.
He always. And he fired all of the people who were there for checks and balances and hired billionaires.
Yeah.
Other
So
predators.
a small percentage could benefit.
And then him and Elon blew up. The fuck? Literally, what the fuck is that? Clownery. So, and what you were saying about the 4B movement, my therapist was saying to me, without saying that, she was saying, like, a lot of women in your age bracket have chosen to opt out of dating until things change, because our rights have been challenged. Honoring us as human beings has been challenged. Men are becoming very conservative and very comfortable with those beliefs. And they want this quiet housewife and them to be the provider, but they still somehow want their woman to pay bills. Like, what the literal fuck are you talking about? And also, these men be looking for a mommy to give them cooch.
Most men are looking for him. Most men.
Yeah, because they need to handle their shit. They need to handle their shit in therapy. And for whatever reason, y'all therapists don't be helping you actually
Because they're not telling you
take
the truth.
accountability.
They're not telling you the truth.
And a therapist can only meet you where you are with what you're telling them.
What you said earlier about having partners or a partner who masks and then reveals later, first of all, there's something to be said about men in general. They've been taught to mask since they were kids. So yes, some of that programming is not their fault, understandably, but there comes a point when they become adults that it's called an intellectual integrity.
Yeah.
Where you got to learn how to exist in places where your same ideas are not being echoed back to you all the time.
Right.
If you are truly an intellectual person, you would want to be exposed and to try to understand other ideas and other ways of thinking. That is a problem. Most men just want to exist in spheres that are convenient for them, where their ideas of how life should be, how men should be, how women should be, more so how women should be,
Right. Can be validated.
Can be validated.
And it's interesting that the manosphere is exactly what you were talking about in the very beginning of this conversation, where it's like, I want a woman to be able to confirm for me that what I desire
is
right, and to show that to the other men who are also validating that this is something I should want because that woman exists. When you were in like your late middle school, early high school years, were older men coming after you?
Yeah, absolutely. My experience is a little different though, because I grew up in a cult.
Yeah.
So, and I was shaped like a Coke bottle very early on. And it was made my responsibility to lessen the lust of men. So like, I would have to dress a certain way so that this married man would not look at me in a certain way. When really his lust is his own responsibility.
Of
it
course.
should have never been my responsibility. But that's how I was raised. And it's also something that should be noted. This is very prevalent in the Black community, especially conservative Black communities. Women are just really like, everybody loves these features. They love the big ass, they love the big boobs, right? They love the small waist. Okay, big thighs, amazing. But Black women have been fetishized, so much, and it's not just by men; it's women. It's the women too that they're perpetuating this very toxic cycle that, unless, like, if you did what I did, where you step away and you start thinking for yourself, it just ruins you, because you start thinking of yourself as just this sex tool that is just out here seducing men left and right. I had a married man. It always came from the wives, it never came from the men, and it's because their husbands are looking.
Yes. So they were like sexualizing you because
Yes.
it gave them power.
Yes.
And it belittled you. They took your
belittled
power.
me. They
yeah.
completely
I call it
belittled
getting
me.
little girled or
Yes.
sunned by a grown ass person, especially women. I do not like that. And just to like go off of what you were saying about the fetishization of Black women's bodies, I see it a lot in white women who continue to get this lip filler, cheekbone filler, ass
filler.
and titties, exactly, the BBLs. All of that is racism. It's racist as fuck, and no one was listening to me when I was saying it back in like 2018. Shit started to pop off.
Yeah.
And now guess what? In these rap songs, guess what's happening? Dudes are saying, oh, I like natural bodies. I want to see natural ass.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all conditioned everybody, all the women, to basically turn on each other and start sunning each other. Who has the fatter ass,
Divide and
fake
conquer.
or real?
Yep.
Definitely fake. Bigger lips. Everybody looks the same.
They knew the power. That was a power play. That was a power. They knew that if women were divided against each other, then we would not feel empowered enough to do what we need to do to not be controlled. They knew that. It is such a power. Honestly, it's brilliant, but we are also brilliant.
Yeah.
And that's why we're like, okay, no, we're taking our power back. I am such an advocate for women loving their bodies, period. Whether you are slim, whether you're thick, love the skin that you're in. It's sad, but it's rebellious to actually love your body. The thought of
crazy.
it's just crazy to actually love the skin that you're in, whether you're slim. The point is to not be male-centered.
Right.
Stop looking for a man's validation in your body. Your body. Most people, this is on a deeper level, but I look at it like this. We chose our bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
So just clock that for a minute. Like, we chose these vessels before we came here. I know it seems mean. We just, no, honey, you wanted this. This was your experience. And sometimes when I'm like feeling down and out, I have to remind myself, no, honey, you wanted this. This is teaching you something. This is the experience that you came for. We chose these vessels. And that's exactly what they are.
Yeah.
Vessels.
Yes.
That's it. They're vessels. So until we can get to that,
Conscious space.
yeah, that space as a collective, and we're getting there though. I'm very hopeful because I see, especially you, didn't you, like, you're 26. At 26, I had ideas like that, but I could never articulate them the way that you can.
Thank you.
You've done the work. You've done the work, and partly because you were forced to.
Yeah.
In many situations.
Mhm.
But it's sad that women in their 20s, it's not until they're like, they hit 30 and up, that they realize, oh shit, I've been duped.
Yeah.
I've been duped. I've done everything for a male's attention and validation, and it's gotten me nowhere. So the fact that women are younger than 30 actually doing the work,
Yeah.
that's promising to me. Like,
I think it's getting younger and younger because
Agreed.
I'm seeing a lot, like there's a 20-year-old that I just saw come out about her dad sexually abusing her and raising her in a satanic cult and having selling her to the neighbors to rape her, and she's 20 right now. So she just exited her home. She was just able to get out of her situation, and I think that the more that we speak on our experiences, the more space is held for those women to come forward, because as this red pill bullshit becomes larger and expands, so does the power of women and the understanding of women that have power. And the more that we don't enable that behavior, they are going to have no choice but to switch that up and learn, because they are going to be lonely as hell, or the violence is gonna swing the pendulum the other way, and that's just what it's gonna be. And I don't have anything to say on that. That's gonna be that. You know where I stand on that.
I know where you
Click, boom. That's where I stand on that.
so many changes underway, because at the end of the day, everything that you do affects everything. And I think the more that you evolve, the more that you become more conscious. You understand that every little action that you take, it affects everything is connected. So while men might think that how they treat and how they view women does not hurt them,
It does.
It does.
And watch
Trust
this.
me, it does. And
Yeah.
they're going to see the evolution of that in the years to come, because at least this generation of women and the generation behind it and the generation, they don't play that shit.
No.
We like, I grew up in a generation where we were told to listen. We're on the end of that cusp
Yeah.
of respecting your elders at all costs, even if they're being disrespectful, and don't speak up. Blind obedience.
Blind
I grew
obedience,
up on
yeah.
the end of that cusp. My generation. The generation after me, and I'm talking about just a couple years. I'm talking about late 1990s.
Yeah.
Okay, 2000s. They don't.
We're not having it. Yeah. No. I'm 98.
I look at them in reverence sometimes, and I'm like, oh, did you just say that to your boss?
Yes, I the fuck did. Absolutely. And fuck you
And
too.
walk the fuck out.
Yeah.
Okay, like-
Yes.
And I'm thinking, wow, that I it's empowering, because I'm like, I've never seen this
Yeah.
before, and it's the ones that are younger than us that are showing us the way. So
And holding space for both things to be true, both
Exactly.
experiences. And I think it's interesting that we don't do what our mothers did, which is like, well, when I was your age, I didn't get to. Well,
that so
I'm
many
like,
times.
oh my God, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for doing that, because that's exactly what I wanted to say. And matter of fact, she's right. She's right. I think this is a good place to end it. Where can my people find you?
So my account on YouTube is called Breathe In with K. You can find me and my chaotic, lovely life there.
Yeah.
Breathe In with K on YouTube. Yeah, look me
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah. YouTube is our safe space. So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More talks with Kayla coming soon. It's my girl.
Do you see men scared to go home after a night out with their boys because they might get stalked and followed home by a woman who's going to rape them and put them in a forest 6 feet under where no one's going to find them until 12 years later? Where? Exactly. If a man gives me a reason to be a narcissist, I'll be the most astute, the most unforgettable narcissist you come across in your life. I know how to embody toxicity to teach men a lesson. Absolutely. I do not lead with love and light. I lead with chaos and selfishness. Yes. Because you know what happens when you lead with love and light when you're dealing with men? They think you're a mumu. You know that, right? They think you're a stupid fool. They're like, look at these idiots. Love and light. With straight men? No, babe. Carrying out the Lord's work. I truly believe that why men hate me, 1, they can't exploit me. 2, because I'm actually detached. And 3, because I behave like them. That's it. I'm not looking for love. I'm not someone that's quick to attach to a man. In fact, when I find myself liking a man, that's when I become more suspicious of him, because I'm like, there's probably something he's hiding. Now, I'm not going to allow that suspicion to interfere with my connection with him and make me start being rude to him out of nowhere, because if he hasn't done anything that warrants me changing my behavior, I will proceed as normal, but with a little caution.
Plan the date, and I know gender roles and all that, fine. But we haven't proven ourselves to be safe for women to be in our company. We haven't proven ourselves to be generally good people. So you need to show a woman, I'm not like the rest. I'm not like these other Joe lives.
Professor Neil here on TikTok is known for debunking misogynistic content. He says it's a pretty new concept for married men to get sucked into the manosphere. Influencers like Andrew Tate usually target men who feel rejected by women.